Hi, I'm Raoul.
And I'm Sonny.
And we're the directors of a feature film 2 years in the making.
Amiss.
We're gonna go one of these. So it was December 2011 and it was snowing, it was Tuesday night, and I had this idea that I really wanted to make a feature film. I didn't have any story elements or anything, and I knew I couldn't do it alone. So I called the first person that came to mind, and that was Sonny. And I said, hey, let's make a feature film. And he said, okay. And I said, let's bring a couple of writers on board. We all got together at a bar the following Thursday, and we threw a couple ideas on the table, and eventually we had a succinct premise for what would eventually be titled Amiss.
We had very small ambitions for making a feature film. We met once a week. We planned to all throw in $500. We were going to try to write and shoot everything within a few months. We even tried to limit the number of locations that we could use for each character to try to make shooting more efficient and get everything done in time. Later on in the writing process, 2 of the writers dropped out, and it was just Raoul and myself left. And we said, let's just go for it. Let's add locations, characters, let's throw in a henchman. Let's do whatever we need to make this the coolest movie that we can make.
I don't understand.
What? My English. Light?
My name is Allan Choi, and I play the father in the film Amiss. Working on Amiss has been an incredible experience. I came on as an actor. It was the first major role for me. Seeing all the work that goes into getting a film made just really made me appreciate the process and the craft. I didn't expect how big this project would turn out to be. We've really poured our hearts into it. So it's really rewarding that now that it's finally done and we get to share it with all of you.
My name is Daniel Kennedy, and I play Kyle Selznik in the movie Amiss. When I first got involved, I thought it was going to be a simple movie project. Obviously, movies aren't really simple. This is the first time, I think, for most of the people on the cast, and so the complexity of the entire project grew as we all started to learn. It was a trial and error process. It was really fun and interesting to watch both the movie take shape and people deal with the stresses and insanities that come with dealing with a project the size of this one.
The most challenging part about playing my role, I think it was just having to balance so many different aspects of the father. You know, you start off seeing him as this drunk guy at a bar, and he has to get into this serious villain, almost a robotic figure. And then I have to go into the typical angry, stern father, and then, you know, I come out of my shell, and I have to show my vulnerability.
I came from theater where the process is basically you inhabit a character and you're in that headspace for an hour or however long the play lasts. Movie making is by nature a repetitive process, so you have to kind of be in that headspace and then stop and start based on whatever. A plane could be flying overhead and it will ruin a take even if it's your best one. And Kyle had some pretty intense scenes, some pretty hard spaces to inhabit. So I guess the hardest part was finding that space and holding on to it, even if the next door neighbor was getting upset by the noise. You know, that sort of thing made it difficult every once in a while.
What are you doing here? Our meeting's not scheduled till Friday. I'm sorry, I was just... Wait. Come in.
Independent filmmaking is difficult because you've got a skeleton crew, so you've got people that have to double up sometimes in another position. I wasn't just a writer and a director on this movie, I was also the producer. Sonny wasn't just a writer-director, he was the cinematographer. So we all had to focus on different things while doing something else, and we had to balance all of these tasks simultaneously. And I guess that was the most difficult thing, just keeping track of every small little detail and being aware of what's going on all the time.
The most challenging part of making this film, as with any film, was all the setbacks that we encountered. We lost actors and had them drop out. We had people not show up. We lost locations. And through all these different conflicts, Raoul and I were always able to find a way to work through it and find a creative way to persevere in spite of those issues.
The general consensus among the actors is that the duo directing team is very much like a parental type. You can't have 100% vision from two people no matter what. Raoul definitely occupied a far more idealistic and stringent viewpoint on the set, like you might get from a demanding father, and Sonny was far more accommodating with the practical aspects of it, and as well as how to deal with people who are stressed or cold or hungry or tired. And that really worked really well together.
Raoul is really intense. At one point he wanted me to dye my hair for the role, which I think shows how much passion he has for his project. Whereas Sonny, he's technical, but I think he is a little more nurturing. Maybe he's like a mom. So they were a great balance. I learned a lot from both of them.
그래서 뭐래?
노동법규 시대장 김정실이 그냥 입 못 다물고 있겠답니다.
얼마? 언제까지?
3개월.
아니지. 분명 굴복시킨 데는 그보다 더 나은 방법이 있을 텐데.
아무래도 그저 손 좀 봐줄 필요가 있을 것 같습니다.
The tagline for Amiss is "You have no idea who you are." And the movie really speaks to that dilemma of humanity. We have 4 different characters in a situation that they don't understand, that perform certain actions that they never knew they were capable of in the first place.
Amiss transcends being just another indie film or something you should watch because people in the community made it. It's a good story. It's a mystery film that doesn't spoon-feed every bit of information to the audience. And we create a conclusion that I think is going to surprise a lot of people.
Screw this.
Okay then. Kyle. Have you ever killed a man? After the first few times, it just becomes routine.
Wait, what? What? No.
Say it!
He said he didn't do anything!
More than that.
I think people should watch Amiss because it is a fine example of how much you can do on a limited budget by a group of filmmakers and actors with a passion for filmmaking. It's not like a big Hollywood summer blockbuster, but we're telling an earnest story, and you're gonna see our heart and dedication on screen.
Storytelling, I think, is kind of a lost art in films nowadays, and the ones that really grab people's attention have a lot to do with connections between people and individuals. You watch this movie, or you hear about it, and it's basically, you get the idea that it's about this girl and why she committed suicide. But as the movie progresses, you find out it's 4 completely different stories, and the girl just happens to be the common thread. So it's sort of like a puzzle box, like the Hellraiser box. Yeah, open it up and you see all the different demons that spill out, and I think that's definitely something that will grab people's attention.
I'll wear it. Always.
This transcended our original vision. It is the product of globalized filmmaking. Sonny and I are 2 expats living in a country that is not our own. We had people from all around the world work on this project. I guess the most rewarding thing for me about completing Amiss is that I know I made the right decision and that I'm doing what I love.
Being in the movie theater next to an audience and hearing where they gasp, where they laugh, when they're tense, and the expressions on their faces after the movie's over. For me, that's going to be the most rewarding part of making this film by far.